So you got all your drinks this time?
Yeah. So I made it so I've only got literally one drink, so there's nothing to pour.
So you don't want a coffee break halfway through?
It's like a 20-minute episode.
You don't want to time out and just like chill out for a while. It's only a 20-minute, 30-minute video.
Hello, internet denizens, inhabitants of the cybersphere. Welcome to NPCs. I'll just switch it up.
Or YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, YouTube.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to NPCs Tal'Dorei with myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and
Dave.
aka Stefan, from,
Yeah, you could just call me Dave.
I could just call you Dave, couldn't I?
Yeah, just
that is your name, after all.
That is my name.
But this is reviewing episode 114, the final calamity, the battle
Vecna Acended.
The Vecna Acended.
Well, it was named on the Twitch. Sometimes they do change the last minute, but I feel like that one will stick.
Yeah.
Because the whole battle was about Vecna.
So if you're in the creator community and you're not waiting to get caught up, you probably know that last week we had the final battle with the greatest, or demigod, Vecna,
yes.
who's actually been a long-standing character ever since Dungeons & Dragons 1 in 1974.
That's a good research there, Ollie.
Maybe.
So, just so you know, when we do these review shows, we don't always go deep into the battle. We kind of go over the finer points, but because this is like a full 6 hours of battling Vecna, we kind of have to.
Yeah. So he's got 3 pages of notes. I have 3 pages.
We have a lot of notes, so we're not going to be able to cover every single little tidbit that happened, not every mess here or all that, because they did a lot.
Yeah.
So we will pretty much just go through the finer points of what happened in the episode, and we always encourage you guys to actually watch themselves. But it is a long episode, so I understand why you rather watch the summary rather than the whole thing, because you may just not have time for 6 hours. Some people don't.
Yes, I was actually towards the last 2 hours very, very hungry, and I wanted to go and get dinner, but I was too invested and I couldn't.
The episode in New Zealand starts around about, what's that,
3 p.m.
3 p.m. and goes for 6 hours until like 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of had to eat during it. So I watched it twice now.
Yeah, I usually get sushi and like Mountain Dew, and but I ran out of sushi.
Anyway, so let's go.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So they did the last prep. This is pretty much casting any blessings, healings, anything. And Vex and Keyleth, Vex and Keyleth had a really good, beautiful kind of goodbye moment as well. Which
and actually, right before the stream, Liam said, "I'm so nervous right now. I could power the entire U.S. Navy with his nervous energy."
Yeah, yes, that's something. And then they they progress up to the chamber where Vecna is. They get an update where the Titan is. So right now, essentially, a Titan is attacking a Vasselheim.
So the Titan itself moves very slowly as it's a large creature, but it's essentially bringing its fist down in massive arcs and destroying large chunks at a time of Vasselheim while they try and stop it, essentially. There was some speculation amongst the critters that said, well, will killing Vecna stop the Titan? What happens if they kill Vecna and the Titan is sentient and just continues on?
And I don't think that's really resolved by the end of it, or what happens with the Titan itself.
Oh, no, it does. It winds down and freezes.
It freezes. Yeah. But, I mean, whether it's just standing there...
Could be stunned, yeah.
Stunned, or whether it just collapses and disintegrates. I guess we'll find out in that next episode.
Yeah, so essentially this episode starts about a couple minutes of planning, right at the door of Vecna. And then it just jumps into the combat. Yeah,
so we find Vecna doing the evil guy monologue. It's revealed that he now has the hand of Vecna, which is an artifact reattached. Which comes into play later on as well. It's quite a very powerful artifact, and we also see a girl in Vecna's ribcage, which
was kind of weird but awesome.
And then we find out it's actually Vex and Vex's sister, younger sister. Now
Kima.
It wasn't really said whether she was fully alive, whether she was imprisoned, or whether Vecna was kind of using her life essence and kind of just. Maybe she was already dead and kind of using that to kind of torture Vex or Vex.
Personally, I think it was the dark side of Vecna going, look, I have something you love within me. You attack me, you attack them.
Exactly. That's kind of the setup, and there's already an emotional impact already on the battle. But then the battle begins.
Roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative, and it pretty much starts off with a huge kind of bang with the fact of we see the setup. It was the same kind of setup that we had last time we faced Vecna, but this time with meteors coming down from the sky. 3 of them hit Vasselheim, and 1 of them hits the battlefield and it cracks.
Yeah. So this is Fireswarm, which is a 9th level evocation, pretty much the highest. You can't in D&D you cannot progress above 9th level. And it's a spell that allows you to bring down giant chunks of flaming rocks into points that you have designated. So Vecna, Vasselheim, and the tower in which becomes the battleground.
Yeah, so the three boulders that hit Vasselheim, interestingly enough, actually hit religious temples. So we had one that hit the Raven Queen's temple, one that hit the Temple of Cord, and the other one, now it wasn't specifically said it hit the Temple of Serenray, but it would hit a district that Pike knows very well.
Which we assume is...
It's because she helped rebuild it.
Yeah.
So it would make sense, but it wasn't specifically mentioned. So I'm safely assuming it.
Now, you know it's always a bad sign when Matt rolls damage and uses the app on his phone instead of physical dice, because he can't pick up that many dice. But essentially, with Fireswarm, I do believe it is 10d6 maybe, no 20d6,
something like that. It's
bludgeoning damage, and the same in fire. Matt rolls, and he rolls about average with 66 bludgeoning damage, and the other one was 66 points of fire. Yeah, so he actually hits the mid-range.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage straight off the bat.
Done.
And that's where you know things are real.
Yeah, but the map itself is awesome, because Matt now pulls it apart. They liken it to pieces of a cake.
Well, they were cake stands, and that's why Marisha thought that he was buying it for the wedding.
Yeah.
Turns out he's buying it.
Buying for D&D.
Yeah, buying for D&D.
So now the party is split.
Yeah, the split. Scanlan nearly falls off the side. Now, at this point, Scanlan 2's not there.
Right.
He's in the back waiting
for the signal.
For the signal, basically. Which they didn't expect it would be split like that, so it's kind of just threw a spanner in the works straight off the bat.
I remember seeing the orbs on the battle map, and I just thought, layer actions, you bastard, Matt. And how are you going to do that?
So when the battle actually begins, actually Vecna has the first go, and Grog vanishes.
Yes. In fact,
where does he go?
So it's a spell called Maze.
Maze, that's it.
Which is, quite diabolical, and again, a high-level invocation that sends Grog into another primaterial plane, which essentially he's trapped in a maze, and you have to roll, I think it's intelligence rolls to get out.
And he's actually there for a while.
You chose your target well if the save is an intelligence save.
Yeah, so he's actually in there for a while. This probably goes to the Vecna knowing a little bit about the crew now.
Yeah.
Of knowing that the best person to lock in there is probably the most unintelligent person.
And also their tank, the most powerful ally they have in battle.
That's true.
Arguably.
So basically we learn about the legendary saves that are resistances that he has, which basically means that he can automatically save a failed.
Yeah. Now generally legendary resistance in 5th Ed will be 3, but I do believe Vecna had 5.
5, something like that.
He's also
very high.
He's also this is great. It's great.
Well, he's a god, so I guess.
Yeah, or a demigod. Yeah. He's so Scanlan. Essentially, Matt says he's also immune to being prone, and Scanlan just goes, "How does he make love?" And it was like the first.
Also, which I'm very, very happy about, because I mentioned in the last episode. Laura wears the witch's hat.
Yes. And in fact, she remembers at a certain point and puts it back on. Yeah.
So he actually burns 2 legendary resistors quite early. He even rolled a natural 1 and used it.
Yeah.
And then we got some skeletons arriving during this whole big battle. And basically, Scanlan 2 arrives after kind of them playing for the rounds. Again, we're not going to go into every little nitty-gritty, because otherwise this video is going to
be a 5.5 hour video.
It'd be us just explaining what you can watch.
We've got things going on.
And we also see the first time Scanlan uses the reaction counterspell in this battle.
Yeah, in fact he uses it quite a few times.
Quite a few times, but really early on he uses it, and he's very, very smart of how he's using it as well. He's aware of what level the spells are as well.
Yeah, I think he's done research prior to this battle.
You could see him on his phone as well, playing around and working out, which is very useful, because counterspells does burn up a spell slot, but it stops Vecna from doing some nasty stuff.
Essentially, if you cast counterspell 2 levels above the spell that's been cast, it's an automatic success, and that is negated. Otherwise, it comes down to dice rolls.
So, with Grog being in the maze, it's a concentration spell.
Yeah.
So, what they need to do is break Vecna's concentration.
So, every time someone that's got a concentration spell going takes damage, they have to re-roll to see if they can keep
and that's what all the majority of the legendary saves were for, was to keep that concentration. So Keyleth does Sunburst, which burns another legendary resistance. However, we see once the Sunburst happens on Vecna that a child falls from the sky, burnt, and that's obviously Vax and Vex's sister. Yeah. Now, and then there was the debate about whether she died because of the sunburst or whether she was already dead.
Yeah.
But either way, Vix kind of catches her and puts her to safety. And then later on, she discovers that I think everyone realized but her that she was dead.
Yeah.
But she had actually had the moment of just seeing if she was actually dead, and she was. So
some dark stuff in this episode, but
I mean, last episode could have been really dark, but they saved everyone. But this one, they've actually lost someone they love.
Yeah. Damn you, Vecna.
Yeah, well, Vecna's a bad dude. He's bound to, you know.
Vecna has a cantrip called Firebolt, which is 4d10 of fire damage that he can just quite often, which is brutal. Yeah, on his concentration check, his first one wasn't that one. Legendary resistance get burned up. I think you're a bit ahead. Dimension door, Scanlan Dimension
yeah, that's
doors.
where I'm at here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Scanlan's still off the side of the battlefield, kind of hanging on. So he decides to get right back into the fray, Dimension's door right into Vecna. Yeah, into the cage where the girl was.
Clings onto his rib cage, essentially. Yeah. By the way, the miniature that I think Matt had some help but painted was, wow, the most beautiful miniature.
We'll put a screenshot. That's your prompt.
Yeah, so
because he's editing.
I am editing.
So that's your prompt. But yeah, it was an amazing miniature, and I think they made it as well. They really made the force of Vecna kind of being shown, because we didn't use that last time. This is him being able to establish his power, to gain heaps more power.
So the Titan, there's like little cuts to the Titan who is still
continue the attack,
destroying Vasselheim.
And keep in mind, during this battle as well, we're healing up the party. Pike is doing mass cure wounds. She's doing everything in her power to kind of keep the hit points up. And that's
really what made some difference there. Vecna attempts what they recognise to be feeble mind on Keyless. Now, feeble mind is dangerous when it hits. So, Scanlan counterspells. And we've got a 7th verse and 8 level, so that is not 2 levels above the spell that's trying to be counterspelled, so it comes down to a roll. Makes the counterspell. Keyleth remains without feeble mind. Feeble.
Yeah, so that's again Scanlan coming in and kind of saving the day. Just stopping Vecna from being able to use really nasty shit on our team. Now there was a controversial moment with Keyleth saves. Because Matt even gives a warning. Yeah. Because it was cocked and there was a bit of debate about it, and Matt goes, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more harsher now. Yeah. And he kind of had that moment of like, this is serious. Yeah. Stop trying to fudge the rules, because I think it was a cocked dice, so I think that's what the argument was over. But
I thought it was they rolled and didn't announce it, or maybe it's I can't
I think she rolled it and it was a bit cocked, and like the player said, no, that's cocked, you should roll it. But they addressed Matt, and Matt was kind of thinking about it. But then they rolled.
That's right.
Too late.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, yeah, Matt kind of gave a little bit of a kind of...
Yeah, going forward, I will not allow that to happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Which is quite interesting, because you don't get Matt telling off the players too much.
No, but they know the stakes. This is the final battle. It has to be done to the best of their ability, and of course, it's D&D, three core books, it's impossible to know it all.
Exactly.
Now, my heart breaks as Grog is in the maze calling for Pike at this time. Pike! I can't do a Grog voice, but Pike! Wait, hang on. I would like to rage, there is. Pike! And as he kind of like goes down that was close. Impossible English. He goes down a couple of pathways and finds himself back where he just came from.
And, he's just trapped in the maze because their concentration has been cut up by Vecna.
Yeah, because of the legendary saves.
But then we get an ally joining.
Jamon Sa'or!
Yeah, it just comes in. Now, he did come off if you kind of skip ahead and you don't see Jamon there, it's because Matt ran out of platforms for him, so he's actually always there, just you don't always see him.
Yeah. It was actually also quite funny with all these miniatures that were flying and had the stands.
It's just different levels of it, and he was just running out of room.
And all the players are like behind them, going, can you see me?
It kind of looked like at one point that Vecna was on Grog's shoulder.
So, Jamon Sa'ord comes along. Now, more attacks on Vecna, more legendary resistances to keep the concentration on the maze spell, keeping Grog their tank.
I think by this point we're at 4. Yeah. So he's burned quite a lot of legendary resistances, which is pretty good for this early on in the game.
And he's got way more, 2 more than you generally would with a legendary creature, but this is Vecna, the final battle. It's Vecna. We know Vecna from first edition all the way through. We know this is the final arc, fair enough.
And then Scanlan 2, so the mirror image, what was the spell? Someone corrected us on the comments and completely...
It was it was like succumbent or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, anyway, Scanlan 2 is out of play. So he gets dispelled. I don't think he was actually dispelled. I think he actually was dispelled. I think.
I do. Yeah, no, Vecna used Dispel Magic.
Yeah, Dispel. Yeah. So yeah, he's out of the game, you could say.
Which is a shame because Scan 2 could cast spells and that would have been really useful.
But yeah, he had his own spell pool.
He's an enchantment, so yeah.
But then we get more meteors from the sky, doing even more damage.
We also get Percy critting. He kind of regens his grit, and does 57 points of damage, which is pretty damn good for
Percy. Was very kind of like he definitely was a gunslinger in this game. He didn't really do too much except for just plow that DPS and just bang, bang.
And also he was kind of doing mob control.
Yeah, exactly.
When the skeletons
he's one of those players that you need in a party but doesn't get enough love.
Yeah. Percy.
Yeah.
Where were we at? I think at this point we got Grog gets back.
Well, Scanlan falls unconscious, but then he's got Death Guard. Was it
Death Ward?
Oh, Death Ward. Sorry. Yeah. So he comes back to 1 health. Yes,
good work, Pike.
Yeah, but that's not going to last for too long. But yeah, Grog does return.
Yeah. So the concentration spell is broken. Was the concentration broken, or did the certain number of rounds burn up?
I'm pretty sure it's concentration.
Broken. Yeah.
Because he didn't want to use another resistance, I think, because he was running
out. Immediately after that, Percy crits again, deals a ton of damage. Then Pike crits with Guiding Bolt, 74 points of radiant damage, and next attack on Vecna has disadvantage. That's some cleric shit right there.
But we also get Jamon.
Yeah.
Gets trapped in a cage. And this lasts for the rest of the battle. Apparently it lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
That's what Matt said. But pretty much, because not all dragons have magic.
Yeah.
So the Jamon doesn't actually have any major magic to actually get out of this little trap, which Vox Machina were actually in. They got, I think Scanlan and Pike got trapped in a similar cage earlier when they activated a trap when they were going up. But yeah, Jamon's kind of out of the battle, and he's trapped in that cage.
Yeah. Now, this is when the fire swarm comes again, and again, luckily Matt rolls about the average. He doesn't go too high on the damage. It just like levels out at 61 bludgeoning damage and 71 fire. Now that's a lot, but it's a lot less than it could have possibly been with all the dice.
So they're doing some really good damage to Vecna, and Vecna can heal every round as well.
Yes.
So they need to be over. They didn't know at this point how much they needed to do.
Yeah.
But all they know is that he can heal, so they're just plowing him for damage.
And I also wonder something.
Anyway.
Because like with a vampire that has the regeneration, if you hit it with radiant damage, it no longer can regenerate its next turn. I wondered if Vecna had a similar thing, but it didn't seem like any types of damage were limiting.
He couldn't be blinded, he couldn't be
prone.
I'm pretty sure he'd be immune to certain things like that.
Yeah, possibly.
Don't know. I would love to see the kind of makeup of the character that Matt used.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not from the book of what he used, because of certain things that we noticed with the spells and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see the actual makeup of the character that Matt kind of homebrewed. So that'd be cool. So anyway, this is at the point where Vex actually realizes her sister's dead. But then Scanlan again goes unconscious and gets hit, but then is revived again by Vex. Next turn, and then Vex gets all up in Vecna's face.
Yeah,
that's
good night.
The bitch's prince.
The bitch's prince. Good night, bitch's prince. Which was quite a good line.
Yeah.
And then does Vecna versus Vax, 24 does not succeed.
He's very high DCs.
Yeah.
And once they kind of... Vox Machina did a very good job of working this all out. And they kind of like were piecing together what they needed to actually get. Yeah. So for the con save that Vax makes, a 24 does not do it, and he takes 39 points in necrotic damage with Vecna's attack, which is... A 24 that doesn't save, that's intense. Yeah.
Then we get some awesome Gloomstalkers chasing Wyvern Riders. There's a whole bunch of new enemies and allies into the fray.
Yeah, so we get Zara and Kashar.
Kashar.
They'll be popping up here. I'm saying this to make Oli do it.
Yeah, I'm editing this one, so I'm going to put one here and one down here.
Kind of loses the feet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So Zara used very...
We already pointed, and then you did that.
I'm just making it harder for myself.
Yeah, I know.
So we've got Finger of Death from Zara, one of the first attacks. Vecna.
So just so you know, if you're unfamiliar who these two characters are, they are a very common guest players that come on.
Reoccurring,
that's the word. That they come on very often. So Zara is a warlock, and Kashara is a cleric.
Yeah.
So just so you know the type of spells they kind of use.
And there are a couple of levels behind Vox Machina.
Yeah. But anyhow, at this point, it's like, go
So we got Finger of Death from Zara. When Vecna fails a save, he takes 78. Now that's not a ton when compared to what Grog and Percy have been doing this combat, but it's enough. It's enough to take a chunk, and that's always useful. Then we've got Grog casting Finger of Death using Cass. Badass. Never seen Grog do that before. That was pretty awesome.
I think that's ability that comes with Cass.
Yeah.
Must do.
Then Pike uses Mass Heal for 700 HP to divvy up between the team, so they all get 100 XP each. Man, that's a damn good healing spell.
HP.
Yeah. What did I say?
XP.
Yeah, sorry.
You get
XP.
experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to heal you all up for hit points for experience.
Yeah, you can just do that. Just never fight a monster.
Yeah.
Just long rest, heal. Yeah. So, Mass Heal. Great tool belt under the high-level cleric.
Now, Ashara and Kashar didn't last for too long.
No, they didn't.
So Vecna cast Hold Monster, which held, because of how high the spell was, it held them in place.
Yeah.
So Held Monster can affect humanoids as well. That was a bit of a discussion that happened with Matt and I can't remember her name, the guest player. I've said it many times. You'll pop it up here.
Yeah.
Thank you. But they pretty much fall into the abyss. And they make a hint that she's pregnant too. Her character's pregnant.
Yeah.
Which sad they couldn't reveal that.
They said something like, now 3 of us.
At least the baby will be saved.
At least the baby will be saved. Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, there you go.
And then Vecna uses Meteor Swarm again.
More Meteors, how about?
Jesus. So that was, I didn't write down the damage for that one. But it was a lot.
It was a lot. They had been taken a lot, but then it's kind of getting nullified by Pike healing up. But there's only so long that's only going to last for.
Vex runs over and administers a healing potion to Kiki, which was cool. And then he attacks with Whisper with a nat 20 against Vecna. Does some damage. And then skeletons start attacking Scanlan.
Yeah. But then, when the skeletons are actually attacking Scanlan, somebody comes in. Climbing up. Now, I think Matt did a brilliant job of describing, saying these gauntlets are coming up, thinking it's someone else. But it turns out to be Arcane from the last session.
Essentially, the party goes, oh god, it's the Death Knight, or, someone's... But, Arkham re-enters the fray.
Arkham, that's it. Arkham.
Arkham is from Arkham.
Yeah, exactly. He enters the fray with the head of Delilah and the Death Knight, so he got his revenge in the end, and pretty much just like, let's do this. Yeah. Kind of like, this is when things got real. It's kind of like you hit the third phase of the boss battle. The final boss, yeah. The final phase of the boss battle. And then we come... Yeah, it's pretty much... I got a Grog dangles off Vecna.
We've got... Grog gets some nat 20s about that time, and essentially comes up to Vecna. Now, at this point, Vecna's taken a few hits that have exposed like this glowing kind of there's 3 wounds on him that have glowing wounds, weak points essentially. So the party goes, all right, attack the weak points, and Grog comes in and poof, poof. This is when they start using the trammels. Now they use the trammels with just straight strength rolls, and they're plunging them into the weak points. And the first one that Grog uses as he claws his way up Vecna rolls a modified 20 with a DC of 20. So just makes it.
This is like the Trestle of Palor as well.
Yeah. And into one of the wounds successfully. Then Grog uses his only action surge to go again, and nat 20s on the second one. He unfortunately Vex. Twice nat 20 on the second attack. Deal some damage.
Yeah. So basically, we've got 1 Trestle in at this point.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more to go.
Yeah.
But we've got 1 in.
Yeah.
So again.
Scanlan starts using a Sphere of Protection type spell. I can't remember the exact name of the spell, which protects him from harm quite successfully until Vecna disintegrates Scanlan's sphere and firebolts him.
Yes. And we're also seeing, we're getting updates of Vasselheim. So Vasselheim is still under attack. Yeah. At this point, we've got Divas in the air fighting Gloomstalkers, and with the Titans just using its big hand and swiping away. He doesn't really care about the Gloomstalkers, but he's going for the Divas as well. Yeah. And if you don't know what a Diva is, we'll pop an image here.
Stop doing that. I have to edit this one.
But yeah, editing pictures that help the story.
I'm going to put a picture of a banana right here.
No.
Just because I can.
Why?
Because there's
I hate bananas. God damn it. But anyway, we'll move on to the second trestle. Yeah. So basically, Grog had the second trestle at this point, and Keyleth took the trestle out. Tremel? Tremel, whatever. And tried to plug it into Vecna, but failed.
Yeah.
And it
disintegrates. So that's one trammel in, one destroyed.
So that would have affected the basically they have to read a book to kind of activate the tremels, trestles, whatever. Tremels, in order to kind of defeat Vecna. So that's probably going to make it harder for them to do it. I'm guessing Vecna gets a. I don't know how that works with if there's only or one trestle in or two trestles in. What kind of advantage or disadvantage they get? Yeah. I'm assuming Vecna gets a better chance of it not working. Yeah,
on his saves. That's probably how it goes. Right, what happens next? We've got Grog gets Blessing of Haste. I don't know if that's before or after the attempt of the third trammel.
No, I'm not sure. My notes get a bit shaky here.
This was about the 5 hour mark. Yeah. Mine's kind of fading at this point.
My notes are kind of like all over the place. Keyless does the trammel. Scanlan does a sassy counterspell. Another one.
Yeah. Should we talk? Because this is about the time when.
No, we get the other tremel in before this happens.
Okay, sweet. Right.
What happens? You'll find out.
Yeah.
So basically, we get the other. I can't remember because my writing's so bad. Who puts the other tremel in? Because Pike had the last one.
Yeah.
So was it Pike that put it in?
I think doesn't she give it back to Grog and Grog goes for it, or does Pike do it?
Either way, they get the last one in.
Yeah, with some straight strength.
Please correct us. Yeah, it's driving me nuts now.
5.5 hour session, we watched the whole thing from beginning to end, so the notes kind of waver.
Kind of waver a little bit.
But we're still.
But then once all the tremels are in, basically all they need to do is read a book, and by this point, Vecna is kind of buggered. Yeah. He's got a lot of damage, and he knows this, so he tries to teleport out. Yes.
Now this would mean huge ramifications. Basically, he gets out of this fight.
The sessions will go on the game will keep going on. Yeah. Vecna will recover. He'll know more about how he was going to be defeated.
He'll have more time.
Whether they have the tremels still after they've been plugged into him, don't know.
Yeah. So this is very, very crucial. So he goes to teleport. Immediately the party goes, okay, attacks of opportunity reactions.
But Scanlan, the counterspell king of this game, still has a 9th level spell. Now, this is not the first time he's held off having a 9th level spell, because remember he did that memory change on his spice dealer? Yes. Yeah, to get more spice. Yes. But he was saving it for a very specific reason.
And we find out after he says... Well, actually, he pulls up the pen.
Now, just before we go into this, there is another video out there on the Cybersphere by Matt Colville, and he does a brilliant job of breaking down this very, very emotional moment. I'll leave it in the comments below. Yeah. So we won't be able to do it justice, but we'll try and summarize what happened.
So Scanlan does this, pulls out the pen, and goes to say, I used to...
Based on his reaction, because everyone got a reaction for the teleporting.
Yeah. And you see Matt's face, and if you want to watch the Matt Colville video, they do a little clip of it.
He explains in a very good detail of the emotions they're going through. Yep. So
we recommend you watch it after this.
Yeah, so basically Sam was saving his 9th level spell to try and cast Wish, which Wish basically changes the fabric of time and means he can change an event that happened in the past.
And he wanted to use it to save Vax, whose pact with the Raven Queen means that after this fight, he dies and is gone.
Exactly. And this whole game, this whole Critical Role thing started with those two. Yeah. They even do a podcast on it. I'll try and find the link and put it below, but they do a podcast on their first session of it. It wasn't called Critical Role, it wasn't called anything like that. They just described playing Dungeons and Dragons for the first time, which is this game.
And the beautiful mass rolling of digital tears in the chat room as this happened, when they realised what it meant for him to burn the spell slot.
So the reason why we mentioned Matt is because he has this expression on his face of, oh shit. Now a lot of people thought it was like, oh shit, that he's cancelling the teleporting with a nice little spell, blah blah, but it's worked out that Sam would have had a discussion with Matt saying, is this possible? Yeah. And it probably was a yes.
So when Matt realises that Scanlan is not going to be able to use Wish, honestly, you can see the look on his face, the way he almost falters and steps back.
And he was like, oh no.
But the rest of the party doesn't click to this immediately.
Yeah, they don't click to it at all. They just think it's another counterspell because he's been doing it all game.
And then Scanlan says to Vax, I'm sorry. And Vax clicks.
What was going to happen, and you could see outside of the game of how upset Sam was, and I've probably never seen him outside of the game. I mean, in character he gets very emotional and stuff, but actual
Sam.
He was in tears, and there was one time he sobbed, and it was because basically his best friend on there is Liam.
Yeah.
He's made it very clear, and they're very much like brothers, just like they're all friends. Yeah. But I think there's a deeper connection there.
Damn you, Critical Role! You broke my heart like multiple times in this episode, and I was losing it watching this. I was just like,
I mean, at first I didn't realize. I didn't realize the huge ramifications. I realized he because I heard him say like, "Wish I was going to use it to save you," and I can understand that.
Yeah.
But then you realize how much thought he had put in that, and how much
saving
the spell slot. You know, trying to be very smart with how he was doing everything. Wasn't expending anything he didn't need.
Yeah.
But then he needed to do it because if it teleported away. I mean, at the end of the day, he could have got more time.
That's the ultimate, like, Critical Role decision moment. You have these two possibilities. Save your friend, potentially destroy the person that destroys the world.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really good to show how much emotional investment they have in this game.
Oh, yeah. I'd like you, I'd never seen Sam Riegel have such an intense reaction to something in the game. It's a moment in Critical Role history that will go down as one of the greatest moments, in my opinion.
Yeah, and once you get more context on it, it's more powerful. Because I didn't think too much of it until I saw the Matt Colville video. Because Matt Colville, if you don't know, he writes the Critical Role comic book, and he's a huge critter. And he's friends with him behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
So he would know a lot more about their ins and outs and their mindsets than we do.
And I only clicked on it because it was going on in the chat. People in the chat mentioned the wish spell. That's when I went, oh.
Yeah, I figured out the wish bit. I just didn't realise the everything else behind the scenes. Yeah. Or I didn't think about how much thought he would have put into it.
So man, that's the rousing climax of this battle. Nay, maybe the entire story arc of Vox Machina. It comes down to Scanlan's decision to stop the teleportation.
Scanlan won the game.
Oh yeah,
so sure. If Scanlan wasn't there, that battle would have gone very, very different.
Scanlan MVP of one of the most important episodes in Critical Role history.
Yeah, and just I think it was before this point as well. Kyan actually did a load of damage.
Yeah.
I tried not to swear there.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
He did a lot of. I think it was like 160 something.
Over 100 and something, which was pretty damn badass. So, essentially, this is leading to the end of the episode. The battle is at its full peak. We've got Gloomstalkers, Woven Raven.
They've realised they can't kill Vecna, because otherwise he would just regenerate, because he's a lich, essentially, because they're attacking the Avatar, they're not
attacking Vecna himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So they start going, don't kill him, don't actually bring him down to the point where we kill him.
Yeah, and Vax was about to as well. Yeah. And it was a very critical moment there. He was like, I'm going to attack it. And everyone's like, no. He's like, it's too late. It's like, you haven't rolled the dice yet. Yeah. So he's like, all right, I won't. Yeah. But then all the Trembles are in. Got to get the book and read the book. And after a lot of kind of, shoving a spell slot into the book so he can read it. Yeah. In the end, Keyleth reads the book, and then Vecna's defeated.
Wow, man! 5.5 hours of absolute intense combat, but they do it thanks to Scanlan and his heartbreaking decision to cast Dispel Magic, Counterspell instead of saving Vax. The Vecna battle ends with Vox Machina victorious.
And just so you know, just before Vecna's dead, though, Kyan chops off the hand of Vecna.
Attaches it to himself.
No, that doesn't happen yet.
Never mind.
Yeah, he chops off the hand, and then Vecna's defeated, and then Matt brilliantly describes everything falling down, and the light hitting Von Fowler?
Baron Fowler.
I can't say it. For the first time, because it was always in the Shadowfell. This is the first time it's actually been out, or basically hearing a massive cheering from Vasselheim. The battle has won. Vecna is definitely defeated.
It was that kind of afterglow moment, and it was some of Matt's finest poetic storytelling as he described the scene as the party members fell, and it was beautiful. And
everyone had that moment of finality.
Yeah. It was very satisfying.
And then as everyone was kind of taking in this moment, Kyan decides to chop off his own hand, attach the hand of Vecna, and bam, out of there.
Teleports out. He says, it was just business. Woof, and he's gone. Whoa, what was that, dude, man? Come on. But that's obviously going to be a plot point in the next campaign.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean...
Speculation.
We'll have to do a speculation video, and that will come up, and we'll explain why that could still happen. But... yeah, it was kind of, and everyone behind the scenes were clapping for it, and obviously Matt knew what was going to happen, and everyone, it was like, well done, well done.
It wouldn't be Critical Role unless Matt had, and
the final
player
twist
had that, that twist.
Now it's a question of whether it's going to be resolved next week of doing the wrap up. Maybe Grog is very hurt
by his Vox Machina.
Vox Machina kind of betraying him. Maybe he just goes on a killing spree. Don't know.
We'll see.
We'll find out all the wrapping up next week, or the aftermath of this big Vecna battle.
The Requiem.
And also what will happen to Vax.
Yeah. So we're really looking forward to all of that, and this has been one of my favourite episodes, the longest episode out of all 114, I would wager. I'm pretty damn sure that's the longest I've ever done.
Well, there's more than 114 because they've done one-shots and everything.
Right. So it's certainly the longest combat as well, seeing as the whole thing was combat. But man, what a satisfying end, what a wonderful epic battle that took place in this broken tower, and the demigod Vecna vanquished by Vox Machina.
Yeah, I'm surprised they all got out of there.
Me
alive.
too. No, not even many death saves.
They were very close to ending it. I did like how the allies were popping in for cameos and kind of thing.
And also like the tying in of the NPCs leading up to that point is a great storytelling.
They've done a brilliant build-up, and it's the big question, now that they've all lived, what will happen with Vax? Is there going to be an alternative deal made? Maybe Scanlan decides to sacrifice his own life
for
trade it because of how guilty he feels of not being able to save him.
I tell you this now, I'm bringing like tissues and my teddy bear to the next episode. I don't know which one, but yeah. I
won't be.
I actually have a teddy bear. He doesn't know this. I have a teddy bear I made that looks like Dave, so I can when he's not here, I can just kind of...
We live together as well, it's weird.
Anyway, that is NPCs of Tal'Dorei, reviewing episode 114, the Vecna battle. Vecna, what was it called? Vecna Reascends? No, that was one
Vecna the Acended.
Vecna the Acended.
Yeah.
What an epic battle!
So yeah, we will be doing next week probably the final episode of this campaign.
Yep.
Of wrapping up, discussing where everyone landed and all of that. And then we'll find out what's going to happen because Matthew Mercer's and Marisha Murray's wedding's coming up. And they're all probably going to go along to the wedding. So there's a good chance they may take a break, like a week break, 2 weeks. Obviously, Matt's going to go on a honeymoon, so it's probably going to be a little bit longer.
I actually have this thing in my head of Matt and Marisha standing in this beautiful silence as this wonderful hall is lit by candles with lilting strings and such. And Matt just looks deep into Marisha's eyes and says, "When I met you, I rolled a nat 20. I just imagine. That's how I imagine their wedding.
I would boo. If I was at their wedding, I'd be like... Bad joke!
So that is NPCs of Tal'Dorei for this week. And
thanks everyone last week for watching. It's the highest watch video
we've ever done.
We may ever have, but either way, we're very happy with it.
Yeah, you guys are legends. Thanks for supporting us out there in the critic community. Yeah, really proud to be part of it.
And leave comments down below what you think. Especially leave comments on theories for the next campaign, because it will give us some talking points.
Well, if you leave a theory down in the comments, we might mention it in the next video. In fact, we probably will.
Or a fact on the next campaign. I've got a few built up. And whether they're concrete or not, I guess we'll just talk about it anyway. But yeah, hope to hear from you.
Thanks very much, guys. Lots of love from NPCs of Tal'Dorei. We'll check you next week. And remember, keep rolling those dice.
Oh, is that your new saying?
That's a new catchphrase.
That's terrible.
Thanks.